This is Hooked On Media, your SEO and PPC specialist delivering winning results for businesses online. Prepare for industry intelligence, your exclusive insights, and top tips are here.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Thanks for the chat that we're going to have today about Semrush. As a bit of an intro, today's insights and Q&A is going to be about honing in on one of the main SEO marketing tools that you're using at the moment, when you came about using it, and how maybe some of your recent things like the certified partner status for Semrush, whether that's changed or increased your opportunities as an SEO specialist. But I also want to focus on putting this tool against others that you've used in the past or other tools that you're using currently. I mean, over the last 5 years I've been at the agency, I've seen you preferentiate between various tools, but recently kind of leaning towards Semrush a bit more, and whether that's to do with the most recent Google updates, which have been very much more content driven, or any other factors really. But we'll explore this with the Q&A, which I'll start now if that's all good.
Okay, yeah.
Great. So yeah, I suppose anyone who's kind of listening in who haven't used Semrush before or are know a bit about them, but from your seat, who are Semrush kind of in a nutshell?
Yeah, they're basically one of the leading digital marketing tools, and they're basically there to assist sort of with client campaigns. Or if you're a large company on your own, there's no reason why you can use it just as a standalone tool for your own website.
Okay.
So with Semrush, I would say it's a package that comes with a lot of features. I'm more in the technical department, so I use it more for the SEO, the link side, but it also does have other features such as a content research tool, which Tia uses, our content writer. It does touch onto PPC, but I wouldn't really say you would just get the tool for that, because there's probably, I think with the PPC, you're just better off using tools such as AdWords, where it runs it direct from Google and manage it all in AdWords. But for the technical SEO, it's really good because you kind of run the tool, so you put in how many pages, like how large your website is. If it's 50 pages or 5,000 pages, it copes with large to massive websites. It crawls them fairly quickly. I wouldn't say it's the quickest tool on the market, but
how long does it take?
Well, I'd say if you've got like an average site, say it's 500 URLs,
yeah,
it would crawl that, I guess, within sort of 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not slow by any means, but there are a few quicker ones on the market. And then once it's run, it will provide sort of a category, so they split the issues into what they call errors, warnings, and notices. The errors are obviously the more important ones that you want to fix, and you don't want to have any errors on the website. So they would be things like 404 error pages, duplicate title tags, things that will actually impact negatively on the SEO. Then there's warnings, which sometimes you can't actually fix. It could be like unminified JavaScript or resources such as a feature like a snippet of Google Analytics code that you can't actually change because it's not coming from your website. It's an analytics thing, so you can't change it anyway, but they're kind of just telling you it's there as a warning.
Okay.
And then there's notices. So again, this is more things like it would tell you if there's redirects, like a 301 redirect, or pages are being blocked, which you might want, you might not want. So that's why they just call them notices.
Okay, so if you left them without changing, it wouldn't have too much of a detriment to your SEO scores, would you say?
Things you definitely need to change are the errors.
Yeah.
Warnings, just be very aware of them and try and fix them.
Okay, like best practice.
Yeah, the notices, they're kind of just telling you be aware of these. So you might have blocked a page on purpose.
I see. Yeah.
You don't want your terms and conditions page being indexed. You would have blocked that, but this tool is telling you it's blocked.
And it allows you to kind of see exactly which URLs are coming up with those error codes, so you can kind of work
Yeah,
the list and see which ones that you're happy with having those.
yes, you can drill right down into the URLs. It will list all the errors, all, you know, it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
Has the option to giving you more information, what the actual error means, and suggestions on how to fix it. So if you're kind of a novice, it is quite informative.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. So recently you received the partner agency badge, whereby you had to take a exam for that. And yeah, just a little bit of insight on whether like what the exam was like, whether it was super difficult or not too bad, and kind of having the agency badge, what benefits us as an agency to have that moving forward now.
Okay, I'd say the benefit to us is it kind of just shows our proficiency and builds trust with our clients. You also do have the opportunity as like a lead generation tool with SEMrush, but if I'm honest, I don't know how much business that will drive in.
Yeah.
I just took the exam to sort of just to know that I'm more proficient and that I do know tool and what I'm talking about, basically.
Yeah.
So I did it, more for myself than anything else.
Yeah. And how were the results?
I think I got virtually everything right. I think I was like 99%. To be honest, I didn't find difficult, but I have used SEMrush on and off for quite a few years. So I am sort of quite proficient in the tool anyway. So
Yeah.
I personally didn't have to read up on anything. I just literally press a button, took the exam and passed.
I suppose that's probably quite good anyway, because it shows, your proficiency without having to kind of do any additional revision or anything. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
The questions, they're not like, I wouldn't have said they were like technical questions like what does a 3.0 redirect means. It was more on how to use the tool, on what situations would you use the certain features in.
Okay. Yeah.
And like where would you apply like this problem to what part of the tool. So probably didn't explain all the features in the previous question, but with SEMrush, you've also got the technical side, but there's also a lot of competitor analysis you can do with it as well.
Okay. That's
So,
good. Yeah.
yes, you can, for example, it's got a really good backlink audit tool. So you can also look at your competitor backlinks, see what good links they've got. The other really useful thing we find is that running it for our client sites, it will show toxic links. So these are the links that are really bad.
Yeah.
And will probably do you more harm than good. So it's quite easy that it sort of allows you to put bad links into a disavow section. And then
I was going to say, on the platform, can you then disavow them from there as well as it?
So it basically puts them in a disavow list. That then creates you a text file, and then you just upload that to Google Search Console.
Yeah.
Then you just click these have been disavowed. Then it reanalyzes basically your link score, and it will come back saying your web with your backlinks all clean.
Yeah, great. That's good insight really to the tool, because it sounds like from the various tools that you used before, I remember when I was working quite closely with you a few years ago on the audits, and you were kind of using one tool specifically for the toxic link removal, disavowing, things like that, and then another tool for like all of the error codes, and then another tool for the speeds.
This tool is basically a one-stop shop. It does it all. Does your position tracking. It does management reports, although we use a different tool for reporting, but it will quite easily send out management reports or like SEO audits to clients. I know sort of our business development team use this tool as well for literally creating quick proposals to send out to clients, like highlighting all their issues and stuff.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
It has got a local SEO section as well. I'll go on to that a bit later when we talk about other tools.
Okay. Brilliant. So we've been long-standing Google partners now for quite a while. If you were to compare it as a kind of partnership badge, is it similar to the Google partner badge? Obviously, Google being Google, has a bit more of a prestige to it, but yeah, does it compare it at all?
Overall, I'd probably say no, it doesn't. The only thing that was similar was the exams. When I did a Google partner exam years ago, don't know if it still is, but PPC team's more onto the Google partner section than I am. But at the time, it was multiple choice. So the exam for SEMrush was also multiple choice. So that's, I would say, is the only similar thing. Obviously, with a Google partner, you do get the actual support. So you're dedicated, like someone at Google will call you and go through your campaigns with PPC.
Yeah.
You can get like,
yeah,
in a partner with Google, you can get like research reports for a certain industry, which is quite informative. Yeah, I'd say they're totally different, really.
Yeah. So Semrush is up there with, you know, the tool that you probably use the most. Who's kind of next in line in your MarTech stack when you're taking out those detailed SEO audits for our clients and prospects as well?
I would actually say that I don't use any other tool now for the SEO side, technical SEO and the link building, just because you could end up paying for lots of different tools. None of them are really cheap. They're all similar, but I've used a lot in the past, and I would say SEMrush is sort of up there with the best. The only other tool I will be using, or the only other two tools I'll be using, is Bright Local, or something similar to Bright Local, which is just focused on your local map ranking. So it will look at your NAP, name, address, phone number. With that tool, you can also sort of select all the directories you want to be listed on, where SEMrush does actually do that, but the only downside is that it doesn't work for Ireland. We have got quite a few clients in Ireland, so at the minute that's a bit redundant for us. Instead of using the two tools, which again, if you use SEMrush, the local side, it's an add-on that you've got to pay for. So we're currently paying for one tool, so I'll just stick to that for now. If in the future SEMrush runs with Ireland, then we'll probably just put everything into SEMrush. The only other tool that we use is sort of like heat mapping, so a website like Crazy Egg, where it will tell you sort of what users that scroll down to the bottom of the page, where their mouse was pointing, what they clicked on. So again, it's a bit separate to SEMrush because SEMrush don't really offer that.
Okay, yeah. So there's a few others that you can use for quite kind of niche marketing tools.
Yeah. I would say SEMrush is the one I use daily.
Yeah, okay. Any pros and cons that you want to like list for us?
Yeah, off the top of my head, pros, I would say for SEMrush, it's dead easy to set up. It's got lots of features that I've mentioned quite a few already. I haven't even used them all because there's features on there that I haven't kind of come across but haven't had the need to use them yet, although I probably will.
Yeah.
You can track all the changes. So if you like make a technical change, you can track it to make sure like the job's complete. You can then also have the option to email the client when that's done. Likewise, you can track link changes, or if you've done like the backlink audit, you can put links into different sections. You can say you contacted a potential link partner for a link, so it's easy to manage.
Okay.
One good feature is you can link into Google Analytics and Google Search Console, so kind of get information fed back into SEMrush from those two external tools. One good advantage is that Google Analytics is quite known for not showing all the keywords that kind of work or you rank for, where SEMrush will kind of get that information and put it put it into their reporting basically. So you get an idea on more key phrases than you would if you just logged into analytics or search console.
That's good. That's quite key. I remember actually being in the tool once and looking at like low hanging fruit opportunities, and I thought that was quite smart that it's actually able to give you some ideas for keywords that you can target that are less competitive.
So you got the disavow tool again that I've just mentioned that links back to the Google Search Console. It's good for creating proposals on the fly, although we normally just cut and paste bits and put it into our own branded proposal. But if you haven't got that option, you can do that with Semrush. It produces like clear charts that are easy to read and all the presentation is clear. One other pro is I've used, as I mentioned, lots of tools. The link metrics, they all differ from tool to tool, but I would probably say that Semrush is the strictest out of them all. In that, for example, you could use the Ahrefs, which will give you a metric, and it could be like 60, which sounds good. When you run it through Semrush, it's more like a 25 out of 100. So they're a lot more strict on how they analyze what the link quality is. And I've found since we use this tool, when we do build links, when we're getting a link, we make sure it's from a high score using Semrush, and that has actually up the client rankings quite quick.
Oh, that's good. So it's not it's kind of underestimating how good that you're actually getting really high quality links.
Yeah, the only, obviously with every tool there are some cons. Probably, I mean, if you're just starting out, it's definitely not a cheap tool. We're in the higher sort of tier, so we've got quite a few clients. We need to run it for all the clients, but even if you're sort of a standalone startup, it's still not the cheapest. But I would say for the features you get, it's well worth the money. Might struggle to afford it. As mentioned, the local SEO at the moment doesn't work for Irish clients, which is a bit of a drawback for us because we do have quite a few Irish clients. That is only for the local SEO, nothing to do with the technical side. And it does have a PPC section, but it's limited. I don't even know if I would even show our PPC team because, as I said, you can get all that info and more just direct from AdWords. That's it, I think, for the pros and cons.
Right. So moving from pros and cons, and going to name a few other digital marketing tools. So you want to answer with each one what the pros and cons are in 1 or 2 words. So the old school, from what I remember when I was working a bit more in the technical team, Screaming Frog.
Yeah, I actually know the person who developed that tool. I would say it's fast, technical, limited only because it is more of a techie SEO tool rather than backlinks, content, etc. One big advantage, it is affordable. It's actually free if you've got 500 URLs or less to fill. So anyone can use it for free, basically, if they've got quite a small website.
SEO Optima, is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's probably less known, but one we have used. It's really fast for crawling. I'd say it's good for beginners, and again, it's affordable. It's not that expensive. Our business development manager used that quite well for quickly producing proposals. But I would just say it's lacking on the technical side.
Ahrefs?
Again, I used Ahrefs quite a few years. I'd say it's very similar to Semrush. It's slightly cheaper, but overall for us, we did move to Semrush just because you get probably a few more features than you do with Ahrefs.
Majestic,
that is just a link tool. What it used to be, whether it's changed or not, it's very good what they do, but they just basically stick the links and backlinking. So for the content and technical SEO, you would need another tool.
Okay. Google Search Console?
It's free. It's very limited. I'd actually say year on year, they actually cut down the features rather than expanding on them, which isn't great considering it's Google. I would say the best thing for it from us is that it's an actual way to communicate to Google. So you can send them messages, or if they will send you a message if there's something wrong with your website.
Okay. Moz?
So I've never actually purchased this tool. It's probably one of the most popular ones, but ones I haven't physically bought. But I've used the trials. They were good. Had lots of features, but it is probably the most expensive one, what I remember.
Okay. Yoast, which a lot of people will know about.
So yeah, Yoast is a WordPress plugin, so it doesn't really fit to the ones mentioned.
Sure.
Yeah, with Yoast, it's good. It's good, I would say, for beginners. I'd say it's like a dummy's guide to SEO in WordPress. So with Yoast, it gives you like a kind of traffic light scoring, like a red, amber, green, and it will sort of tell you if your like keyword is prominent on the page, if it's optimized.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it is. It is just an SEO tool. WordPress, it doesn't really focus on backlinks, content.
Yeah. Okay. And last of all, Rank Math.
A rank map is very similar to Yoast. They've actually probably overtaken Yoast in popularity. We actually use Rank Map for a few clients as a WordPress plugin. One advantage we find with Rank Map over Yoast is that it's probably better built, so it doesn't affect the website's page speeds when it's installed. Both Yoast and Rank Map come with free and paid versions. Say they're very similar, but I would just preference Rank Map.
Okay. Fab. So last of all, do you have any advice to anyone using Semrush?
Yeah, I'd say overall it's not advised if you're a beginner, only the fact that it isn't cheap. If you're a beginner, I would probably practice on tools like Screaming Frog, which is free.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what you really want out of the tool. As I say, it's got lots of features. You can send custom reports direct to a client, so that can save a lot of time.
Yeah.
And again, what I've mentioned, you can link up to Google Analytics and the Search Console for additional information that you struggle to get.
So probably one more for agencies and marketers than like business owners who are doing their own SEO and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I would just say take the agency exam as well, because it kind of, if you're not familiar with the tool, it will definitely make you read up features and just give you confidence when using the tool.
Yeah, that's a good bit of advice. Great. Well, yeah, that's been really insightful and hopefully quite helpful to our listeners. Yeah, it's good to have an opportunity to hear from like an SEO expert, you know, what you think about the different industry tools as you're using them day to day. I imagine probably saved some people a lot of kind of reading up time as well. And I thought actually it was really interesting about competitor analysis that you can do on Semrush. So that kind of seems like it puts it up there with like one of the best tools to use because of that.
Yeah, I use that a lot. And again, as I said, Screaming Frog doesn't come with that capability, but each of those, I think each of these tools mentioned, like Screaming Frog, Ahrefs, Majestic, Moz, they've all got good bits and bad bits. Even, I mean, like Semrush has got good bits and bad bits. So I'm not buying just their flag because I've used all those tools. I think if you just want an overall package, like Semrush is hard to beat.
Yeah. Brill. Great. Yeah, well, that's the end. Is there anything else that you want to add about what we've talked about?
Think of anything.
No, that's brilliant. That's loads. So yeah, really, really helpful. Thank you again, Andrew. And yeah, to anyone who's made it to the end of our Q&A, thank you, and keep listening and looking out for our next Q&A. We're going to be talking to Business Development Manager Lee Jackson about what moves you can take as a business for setting yourself up for digital marketing. So perhaps before you're reaching out to your local or not local digital marketing agency, there's going to be some things that we see when clients come on board that actually puts the campaign on a bit of a back foot because certain things haven't been set up in place, and it's in our interest to get started as soon as possible to get those results coming in for our clients. And sometimes, I'm sure you'll agree, Andrew, that it can be quite frustrating when there's certain things that, you know, we wish that we'd been contacted a bit sooner so that the client could have sorted out a few niggly bits so that we could really crack on straight away. So I think that's going to be a really, really useful Q&A with Lee. So yeah, keep listening for that. And thanks for tuning in, and we will speak to you all soon.